This is Morning Glory and a Church of Uganda Family TV. And today in studio with me, I have taxi specialist from URA, Miss Hasfa, Seguya, and we're going to be understanding VAT. How does it work? When do you apply it? And what percentage do they charge on most of the goods and services in the course of the business? And who is supposed to use VAT? Yeah, just be on Morning Glory, and you're going to be understanding everything step by step. Good morning, Miss Hasfa.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah. How is your morning today?
My morning is fair, it's fine, I would say, because I'm still alive.
Yeah.
And thank God for that.
True. Today we're going to be understanding VAT.
Exactly.
Yeah, what is VAT in a layman's language? Because I'm sure there's someone who is hearing it for the first time. Yeah, that maid who is at home, who is watching Morning Glory, where does she apply this VAT? Or is it for that particular group of people who have to use VAT?
Thank you very much. VAT is like any other tax type.
Yeah.
And it's an abbreviation of value-added tax. We basically look at you in business and look at your growth in business, because ideally, as we register you for tax purposes and give you a TIN at inception, we do not give you VAT in most cases, because we look at certain parameters, as in your turnover. Can you manage to make, say, 150 million a year? So it's difficult for you to have started business yesterday and I assume that you should be making 150. Unless for the big business that could start big, but the majority start small, then they grow to that tune. So in registering you for VAT, ideally it means that you should be having a TIN before, and probably we might have registered you for income tax as a tax type. So VAT is your graduation in your business activities that will lead to that increased revenue, ultimately where the sales will be at 150 plus. That is when I come in with my VAT. But before I come in with VAT, it is, first of all, VAT is, it's a consumption tax. As you consume, you pay. Be it a good, be it a service. But ideally, this tax is paid or borne by the final consumer. So I would say the tax burden lies with the final consumer.
Yeah.
The others keep on passing it on, passing it on. That is why I call it a multi-stage. Let me give you an example. If I'm the factory manufacturing, say, soda. I produce a soda. Before it goes out of the factory, I'm selling it to a distributor. On whatever amount I have computed, I have to add on the 18%, because our tax rate in Uganda is 18%. Then the distributor equally will pass it on to the agent where they're going to sell those particular drinks. Then the agent is equally passing it on to, say, the hotel or the supermarket with 18%. Then me, who comes at this hotel to take a bottle of water, a bottle of soda, probably a bottle of beer, me who goes to the supermarket in the evening to pick that bottle in the fridge, I am the one who pays the tax, because the tax burden lies with the final consumer, and I'm the final consumer on that process line of that item.
Oh.
So that is how VAT is. So the rest in between are basically like agents.
Yeah.
For URA, they keep on passing it on until it rests with the final consumer. Because ideally, you being the final consumer, you are not going to pass it on to anybody. And you are not going to claim what you have paid, because you're not in business. So VAT is just a mechanism of input-output.
Yeah.
And input comes in when you sell. The VAT on your sales is the output VAT. Whereas input is basically your inputting. So this is VAT on your expenses, VAT on your purchases if you purchase anyway. So ideally, with the VAT mechanism, we look at what is the highest. If the output VAT on your sales is greater than the input VAT, so the difference in between the two is what you're going to pay Uganda Revenue Authority. At whatever point, be it a manufacturer, be it a distributor, be it an agent, be it the hotel or supermarket. But in the event that your input VAT will exceed your output VAT, ideally, obanja revenue.
Go away over.
Exactly. So we have two scenarios. We would request you to push it to the next tax period, that's the next month, or we can give you a cash refund. But ideally, for procedural purposes, we process cash refunds for amounts that exceed 5 million. So in the event that your credit is below 5 million, we tell you please push forward the credit. It will help you probably reduce the payment in the next period. And by the way, VAT is a monthly tax.
Is it a must for every company to be paying VAT?
In the event that you don't qualify, as I said,
Yeah.
you don't meet the 150 million, as in your turnover for a year, you are not dealing in probably vertible items, because we have different items. We have those that attract VAT immediately. Those are the standard rated that attract the 18%. And we have those that are exempted. They would have been standard rated but by government policy somewhere, somehow, they were exempted and therefore they won't pay VAT. And there are those that are at zero, whereby whatever they do, there is no value addition. Precisely, value addition is simple. Let me tell you. You wake up one morning, you have a garden. You, at the end of it all, you harvest and get matoke in batches and quota. You come to the market in Karere and sell them as they are. So that matoke does not pick VAT. There is no value addition. But wake up in the morning and take the matoke to your restaurant. Then cook it. Add some tomatoes, onions, and everything, the spices. We are adding value onto
the matoke.
Exactly. So at that point, I expect it to be VAT.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, and then how is VAT computed? Like, explain.
It is just 18%, because it's like saying the example I've given you of the matoke. You are a restaurant owner, and at the end of the day, you have to cost the matoke, you have to cost maybe the spices, you have to incorporate a rent component within and all that. So at that particular time, your fair market price for that plate, let me say, would be about, you would say it would be 4,000. For that plate of matoke, maybe it's a katogo. But in the event that you're registered for VAT, I would expect you to add 18% onto the 4,000. Because I don't want the VAT to eat up your capital or your profits. So what you need to do is you'll just get your 4,000, then go quickly to where your calculator is, and you see how to add on the 18%. Let me see how to compute it. Yes, we have 4,000, that's your plate, then times
on every plate that you sell.
Exactly. That's 720. So ideally it implies that instead of saying 4,000, you're going to add the 720. So ideally your plate will be 4,720. Or even to round it off, you could say my plate is 5,000.
So that you can cater for the VAT.
Exactly, you can cater for the VAT, because I don't want it to enter into your arrangement, because this is value added. What value is it that you added there? So the value should be an appropriate of 18% equivalent.
Wow. And then what are the compliance requirements for VAT? Registration, where you have sales maybe turnover like 150 million. And then enroll fees, like maybe someone would want to register, because there are those ones that haven't registered yet. So
what happens to VAT ever since July 2020? We rolled out what we call IFRIS. So when we rolled out IFRIS is just an initiative to help our clients standardize the invoicing and receipting, so that wherever you go, the invoice or receipt has to seemingly look similar. The only difference should be the tin of the other party differs from yours, and maybe your names and maybe the details of the items you sell or the service you have provided. So what happened, we offered the IFRIS platform, where we expect that as I register you for VAT, now IFRIS is automatic, you get it. Because the minister on the 1st of July 2020 gazetted VAT registered clients to start using the IFRIS platform. So to create ease to our clients, we bring the IFRIS with the registration, so that is done. So after registering them, they will start complying by seeing how best they could invoice or receipt moving forward. But what you shouldn't forget when you register for VAT, our returns are on monthly basis. Monthly basis implies that I am going to give you this month to trade. Then by the 30th or 31st, depending on when it ends, I expect you to start wrapping up from the first what you did in terms of sales, in terms of purchases, in terms of expenses, to see which position you lie, so that you can represent it in the return. And in the return, I give you the first 15 days of the following month, implying that within the first 115, make sure you send me that return on any date. You are ready on any date you prefer. Because if this return comes after 15th, after midnight of the 15th day, then then definitely that will be a penalty for late filing.
For whoever was sitting late, there has to pay a penalty. Exactly,
and it is automated now. I don't need to be in office to initiate it. It is automated. The system just feels that Brenda, who is registered for VAT, I haven't seen her return, say for the month of December. Then by the 15th of January, the system auto-computes the 200,000 penalty and sends it in your ledger and notifies you that thank you for filing your return. However, it came in beyond the statutory mandated date. So we therefore request you to pay a penalty of 200,000.
In case someone does not pay that penalty, what?
Definitely the enforcement measures that come in, and enforcement is a little harsh. So it's better to comply. The cost of compliance is simple, or is even reduced than waiting for the cost of enforcement. Because as we enforce, we won't give you notice. That's the first thing. At the time of enforcing, we cannot even negotiate payment installments for you, because you've surpassed that. You didn't utilize it when it was available. So at the time of enforcing, we will need the whole amount.
Yeah.
What came out of the return and probably what the penalty is. So ideally, when we come on air and get this opportunity, we are basically reminding Ugandans of their obligations.
Yeah.
In the event that you know your VAT register, mark you there is a monthly obligation for you to file, and make sure you file. I don't mind how the return comes in, whether it's a payment return, it's a new return or offset, but please file. Then the others will sort out themselves.
Wow. What is URA doing about ensuring people that comply to VAT?
Definitely, as URA, we come on media to remind. We issue reminders, and we issue reminders on mail to remind you to file. We issue reminders. We could call you, call your contact, whatever contact you gave us at registration, to remind you. But in the event that you fail, that is when my enforcement comes in. But ideally, we do not want to look more on the enforcement bit, because it's a little harsh, and we thought after COVID we were equally hit hard. So I should imagine the software could be better for all of us to see how best we can put in those returns and comply at the end of the month. Yes.
Wow. What, in case someone has not yet registered for this VAT, what are the means for them to register?
When we are registering VAT, we have the voluntary, those that come in on their own and they prefer to register.
Yeah.
But there are those that we could register mandatorily. They don't need to come in, but we see they qualify. And at times, if you don't come, and we've done a data analysis on probably your income tax returns and see how you fare in terms of income, and we make our tests and see that you qualify, or you qualified way back, you could come in with a forceful registration, where we just put you on VAT and notify you afterwards that we have decided to register you for VAT, because according to the law, your income surpassed the registration threshold, and therefore we need to level the ground and register you like the rest.
Wow. Your parting shots on understanding VAT.
I would like to remind our clients the month is ending, the month of January. Ensure that you put everything right, and because we are precisely ending it early next week, and see how best you can send in your return. Ensure that as you return, if it's a payment return, ensure you pay the resultant tax. In the event that you may not be able to pay it in time, we have the installment payment where you can come to us and apply for it. Then we give you installments, say 2 or 3, to say that you go back and work while you are looking for the money, and we will be patient and wait for you. And lastly, I would like to thank Ugandans for supporting URA, for walking the journey with us, and for giving us taxes. It is a discipline. For one to give you taxes on a monthly basis, on an annual basis. It is really a discipline. I would like to thank Ugandans. We know we have many challenges here and there. The COVID has been here, this and that. Now we have school fees and all that. But amidst all those challenges, you fulfill your obligations. We'd like to thank you very much. We would like to say we appreciate you as Uganda Revenue Authority to keep supporting government. Because government does not do any business. It doesn't. Within us, when it empowers us to do the business, then ultimately we need to give back.
Yeah.
So the tafari the government in terms of taxes. So I'd like to thank Ugandans and to wish them a blessed day.
Thank you so much, Madam Seguya. Yeah, this has been Morning Glory for you every single morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And we thank everyone who has been there watching us since morning. We love you so much. And in case you miss up all these interviews, you can get them on our YouTube channel, that is COU Family TV, or you can follow us on all our social media platforms, that is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you can catch us, and you can do a recap on all these shows. Reda Mahoro has been my name, and I always do it with Byron Vidiaho. Thank you for following us. We love you so much. Have a blessed morning. We love you. Bye bye.
Brethren, yes we can. We can clear the debt of church house. And I want to invite you to give generously to the love gift.